This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right. Max Kellerman addressed two dichotomies. The two dichotomies that he addressed, the first one is, it's very obvious. See, if boxing pundits get out of their own head and they start really seeing this fight for what it is, it's very obvious that Terence Crawford fighting Errol Spence is going to be down fast. Because Errol Spence has a high motor. You can't sit here and say, call yourself a boxing connoisseur. You cannot sit here and say that you are a boxing pundit. You cannot sit here and say that you study the square circle, that you're a pugilist. Not pugilist from the aspect of that you're a fighter, but a pugilist in terms of your mindset and how you unction yourself, how you govern yourself, how you appropriate yourself when it comes to dissecting the sport of boxing. You cannot say all of these conglomeration, stimulus package terminologies associated behind you and how you see the sport if you can't understand that Terence Crawford is already at a disadvantage. The guy's motor is 30% out the gate. A fighter is going to be what he is when it's all said and done. Let me say it again, because what I said was so deep and profound. So hear me and hear me motherfucking well. A fighter is going to be what a fighter is going to be out the gate. You can't change that, especially under the bright lights. Terence Crawford has a 30% motor. Errol Spence out the gate has a 75 to 80% motor, and he gives you 75 to 80% motor for damn near 15 rounds if he could. But we know it's a 12-round fight, so he gives it to you for 12. The problem is Errol Spence is an energizer bunny. He keeps going and going and going and going. So while he's going and going and going and going, you're draining and draining and draining and draining under the leagues, under the droves, under the water, and it's deep waters. Because every round you're going to find yourself slowly but surely distancing. There's going to be more and more of a gap, more and more of a distinction, more and more of a gulf, more and more of a separation. Why? Because not only are you dealing with a guy with a high motor, you're dealing with a guy that's levying an onslaught of punishment. So he's breaking you down systematically. This is where the separation comes in. This is how you see fighters become stationary. So when people say Terence Crawford, he ain't no your Dennis Ugas, he ain't this, he ain't that. Well, if you were not a brain full of mush and a brainwashed dodo head, you would have seen that your Dennis Ugas when he was fighting. See, a lot of people speak out of being boxing casuals. Your Dennis Ugas was moving around. He was actually boxing. Errol Spence made him a stationary target. Because when you take enough punishment, you take enough body punches, you take enough brutalizing devastation of utter destruction, you become stationary. And Errol Spence understands that at the highest levels. He's the master of making you stationary so that he can get you in one of them corners and drop them dumbbells on you like Gary Russell Jr. famously said. That's what's going to happen. Terence Crawford is going to get dumbbells dropped on him. Round 7 to 10 are going to be the dumbbell rounds. Let me say it again. Round 7 to 10 are going to be the dumbbell rounds. If you are a person who really understands the astuteness of the sport, by the time round 7 to 10 come, you already know what's about to happen to Terence Crawford. He getting you gotta like Gary Russell Jr. That motherfucker like Jason, he gonna drop them dumbbells on him. And people mad at Gary Russell Jr. for saying that, but it's the truth. Because he knows the thing that I know. Terence Crawford is defensively irresponsible. He used my terminology, so I'm going to use his terminology. Drop them dumbbells on him. It's an equal exchange. He's of equal value. He says he knows everything defensively irresponsible. So he knows everything says, like Jason, he's going to stock him down between round 7 to 10 and drop them dumbbells on him. That's exactly what's going to happen. Dumbbells are going to be dropped. Have you ever been hit by a fucking dumbbell? Have you ever had a dumbbell fall on your feet? Have you ever picked up the dumbbell wrong and even your hand touched the dumbbell a certain way? You feel immediate pain. That shit is not fun. It swells you up. I don't give a fuck how much muscles you got on your body. You cannot out damage a fucking dumbbell. Now imagine dumbbells being thrown at you from round 7 to 10. See, I want you guys to visualize this. I want you guys to get into this mode to where you imagine this. This is what's going to happen to Terence Crawford. This fight is not an even fight. These guys fight on two different stratospheres. They fight in two different worlds. So when you have a world-class fighter, you have a master tactician, master boxer, master at being technically sound and fundamentally sound, master high motor, master unlimited pressure, because pressure does what? It bursts his pipes. When you have all of that and you think Terence Crawford is going to have a chance to collect data, no fighter has no chance to collect data. Floyd is telling the whole world. He told Terence Crawford, gave him a fucking warning. When you fight Errol Spence, you fight his fight. You ain't got time to be sitting there and fucking thinking. And if you're a fighter that you got to think, you've already lost. You've already lost the battle before you even stepped into the war. Because you're fighting a fight thinking you're going to be comfortable. There is no room to be comfortable. Because he has the unlimited pressure style. You have to be in pressure out the gate. So if Terence Crawford went all of this time and didn't train under pressure, didn't fundamentally change his style, kept doing the same things that he was doing and thinking he's going to get a different result, well, I have news flash for Terence Crawford. I have news flash for Bomac, and I have news flash for Team Crawford. That is the definition of insanity. And come July 29th, you're gonna understand what insanity is all about. See, if you listen to these pundits and you listen to the deep-coded messages behind what these pundits are saying, they are letting you know, they're giving you a prelude to the simple fact that Errol Spence is going to steamroll, bulldoze, plow through, and dominate, obliterate, annihilate, and fucking devastate and brutalize Terence Crawford. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat truth teller fashion. I keeps the foot on the what? On the Knicks. I keeps the foot on the what? On the Knicks. This is He Knows Everything.